Hello, welcome to this week's Lunch and Learn. Thank you all for your patience as I wasn't here last week. I've been under the weather for a few days, so thank you for tuning in to this week's Lunch and Learn. I'm Chrisella Herzog. I'm the CEO of Humble and Hustle Studios, and we do this Lunch and Learn every week to help small business owners learn some of the tips and tricks for social media marketing and digital marketing, as well as cover some of the industry trends that are coming up to help make your digital marketing more efficient and to take up less of your time and end your overwhelm with all of that fun stuff. So this week we are going to be talking about setting goals for your marketing campaigns. If you are sitting here trying to plan out the last 7 weeks of 2019 and how you're going to reach your goals before the end of the year, or if you're starting to plan out your promotions and your campaigns for 2020, kind of looking ahead and see how you can drive in more business next year, this is going to be a strategy that's going to help you out a lot with that. And I have a couple of resources as well that I think will be useful for you. So, as I mentioned in the title of this video, we're going to be talking about SMART goals today. And SMART is an acronym, so S-M-A-R-T goals. Beyond being, an indication of what type of goals they're going to be, these SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And there are a couple of variations on the SMART goals that we can talk about a little bit later, but we're going to start with this core of these SMART goals today. So a lot of times when people set goals for their marketing, they set things like, I want to gain more followers. I want to get more engagement on my social media posts. I want to grow an email list. I want more website traffic. And those are all great goals. But the problem with those goals is that they are, they're not specific. If you want to gain more followers, well, you could just buy a bunch of followers, but they're never going to engage with your posts. They might ding your page, and they are going to, they're basically going to drive down the engagement on your posts. So when you think about gain more followers, you have to think a little bit more deeply about why you want to get that. What is the larger business goal that you need from that? If you want to get more engagement, well, you could post something that's really super funny or something that goes completely viral, but has nothing to do with your brand. And so, yes, you got more engagement on your posts, but that doesn't actually end up driving any business to you. All these sorts of things. So you can have these goals, but you have to think a little bit about, why do you want these goals? What are they actually going to do for you? And dive in. So when I tell people to start setting goals for their marketing, I tell them to start thinking about what is the bigger business picture. So if you're thinking about, that you want to build up your marketing or you want to build up your social media following, why? Why do you want to do that? Is it because you are finding that you are getting leads from Instagram? Is it because you are selling products on Facebook and you're finding that, people are actually clicking through and purchasing your products through your Facebook store? Is it because you have a Facebook group and you see that in your Facebook group, when you engage with them, people are actually coming, they're setting up calls with you to schedule an appointment and moving down your marketing funnel. So think about why. How does your marketing goal serve a larger business purpose? So that's where I would like to start when setting goals. Why do you want this goal? So then let's move into the actual goal itself. So if you decide that you want to build up a Facebook group, grow your Facebook group, and that's your marketing goal. Okay, that kind of falls under the goal of like gaining more followers. Let's make a SMART goal for this. Excuse me. Let's set a SMART goal for this. So you want the first part of the SMART goal to be that it's specific. Okay. So if you just say, I want to gain more followers. If you gain 1, 2 followers, well, you gained more followers, plural. If you gained 1 follower, then you only gained 1 follower. That's not plural. Then you gained 2 followers and you gained more followers. So, what is your goal with gaining more followers? Do you want to gain 100 new followers? Do you want to gain 1,000 new followers? Then let's move into the next part. It's measurable. So again, it's so you have to have a number there. You have to have some sort of a metric. So if you want to gain, so if say that you want to gain like more Facebook group followers because you want to gain more clients, so you probably want that to be a specific increase in people who are actually coming into the group, they're engaging, that sort of thing. So you want it to be high quality followers, or sorry, high quality group members who are coming in, engaging. You want to see click-through rates on your program go up, appointments go up, or you want to see just engagement in the group go up. Okay, all of those things can be measured through Facebook groups admin management. You can see engagement numbers through click-through, link trackers, all that sort of stuff. You can measure all of those sorts of things. Achievable. Okay, so if you set a goal that in the next, let's see, so we have 7 weeks left in the year. In the next 7 weeks, you want to make $1 billion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're going to do that. That's probably not achievable. $1 million might be if you win the lottery or if you like sell like a massive product sort of thing, but probably not. That's probably not achievable either. So look within what you have currently and what you can do by the end of the year. So for example, if you're an e-commerce company, well, it's the holidays, this is probably going to be a big time of year for you and your sales. You can set a goal of saying like, I'm going to sell $10,000, $25,000 of product between now and December 31st. And that could be an achievable goal. Whereas for if you set that goal, say like in the middle of summer, that might not be an achievable goal. So kind of think about the context of your goal here. Realistic. Again, that goes back to, making $1 billion, all that fun stuff. And timely. So one of the really important parts about goals is you don't just want to say, well, someday I want to do this. I mean, there's no incentive there. Like, when you are working for yourself, when you're a small business owner, if you don't have these goals or these time limitations, it's really easy to get distracted by other things. So you want to have a time limitation on that. So there are 7 weeks left in 2019. So if your goal is to achieve like a revenue number by the end of the year, you have 7 weeks to do that by the end of December 31st. That is your time set. Or if you want to say if you're making goals for 2020, you might want to break that down into quarterly goals. Say in Q1, we want to hit this goal. And in Q2, we want to, increase that goal and hit this goal. You might want to set like goals that are taking you in a curve upward, that sort of thing. So a couple of examples are, before we get into the example, the formula for this kind of is by date, insert the date, you, company name, will reach number and then the metric. So that's kind of your formula there. And I'll post that in the comments as well. So by date, the company, you, will reach number metric. So an example is by December 31st, Acme Company will reach $10,000 in product sales. And that could be, like, that's just their holiday marketing. So you could even say, between November 15th and December 31st, Acme Company will make $10,000 in product sales. And that's a SMART goal. That's a great goal right there that you can shoot for. Another goal might be if you're looking for, like, saying increasing email list subscribers. In 3 months, Acme Company will reach a 50% increase in email subscribers. There you go. That's a goal. So once you have that goal, you want to try to start writing down some ways of how you will achieve it. And this is something that the SMART goal, I talked about, there's like a couple variations on the SMART goals. This is one thing I like to include with the SMART goals is how. After you write down this goal, write down some specific strategies that you're going to do to reach this. So In 3 months, Acme Company will reach a 50% increase in email subscribers. How is that going to happen? Well, they're going to run a webinar series promoted through Facebook ads. They're going to run a live event, and of course, with the disclaimer that people from the event are going to be invited to join the email address. Or you could have at the live events a place where somebody drops their cards if they want to sign up for the email address, that sort of thing. So they have these specific strategies here where they're going to use that to actually build an email list. They're going to create a white label paper where, or an ebook or something where, they run a targeted email campaign, or sorry, excuse me, a targeted Facebook campaign to get people to sign up to receive that. And then you send out a follow-up email asking people if they want to join your email list. So include those strategies below it, like come up with write down these goals, because seriously, you got to write down goals, or otherwise, like, it's just in your head. You can't communicate those goals to your team. And, if a goal that is just in your head and that hasn't been communicated out to the world is not going to be a goal that anybody's going to hold you accountable for. So write it down, get it out to the world. I just read an article this morning about how Instagram influencers are putting their to-do lists on their Instagram stories. So I don't know, put your SMART goal in your Instagram stories. Do something like that. Just get it out there and make sure there's somebody holding you accountable to it. And once you write that down, then underneath it, put down the specific strategies of how you are going to achieve that goal. And that doesn't have to be something that you stick to 100%, but it's a starting point. It's the beginning of a map. And it's something that you can go back and refer to and be like, okay, so this strategy didn't work. We tried that. We're going to X that off, and we're going to move on to the next one. And there's another reason why I say, like, you're going to, keep going back to this goal and marking down what your strategies are, documenting what your strategies are. So I found a little bit of data from a company called CoSchedule. And they say that marketers who set goals are 376% more successful than marketers who do not set goals. And incredibly, only a little over 50% of marketers actually set SMART goals like this and actually write down their goals, which is like kind of baffling to me. And maybe I'm just too type A, but that's kind of baffling to me. So set your goals, because having those goals gives you something to work towards, to drive yourself towards, and to it sets you on a path forward, gives you a direction, and it makes you a lot more successful in the end. And then as you are going down the path to reaching this goal, document your strategies. And the reason you want to document your strategies is because CoSchedule says when marketers document their strategies to reaching their goals, they're 313% more successful. So most marketers, I think the article said 72% of marketers document their strategies, which, good, thank goodness. But you're going to be a lot more successful when you do that. And there's reasons why. You're not going back every time and reinventing the wheel. You can communicate to your team what you're doing. If you're a small business owner and you're trying to grow your company, you are not going to be running the marketing forever. You're eventually going to want to hand off that part of your company to a team or a chief marketing officer or something like that. You're not going to be doing that forever. But if you have already started documenting the strategies that you use to reach these goals, you're going to be a lot more successful as your company grows, because you can hand those strategies off and say, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's what we tried with this. If you want to try a variation of this again and see if we can work on it, that's great, but we already know that this strategy doesn't work. Or you can say, okay, you can go back and look at what you tried previously. Maybe like you've been documenting your strategies for a couple of years, and you go back and you look and you say, okay, a couple of years ago we tried this strategy, it didn't work. Why would that be? Would it work now? You can kind of dive into that and see if that would be a strategy that works now. So I'm going to share a couple of resources for you in the comments here today, including that formula for writing the SMART goals, as well as an article from HubSpot where they give a couple of examples of SMART goals that also include like documenting this how, documenting this roadmap that you're going to create for it. The last thing I wanted to talk about with you is that if you are thinking about in your business making an impact with your business, there is something called a SMARTIE goal, SMRTIE. And with the SMARTIE goal, that is helping you to kind of measure the impact, measure the external good that you have done with your business. And so if that's something, I'm not going to go too much into it today, but if you're a purpose-driven business and you want to, this is something that you want to look into, or you want to start setting those types of goals for your company, a SMARTIE goal is going to be something that you're going to want to consider for that. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's great to be back online, and I will see you next week.